With all of the hubbub over trade wars and NAFTA renegotiation, U.S. row crop farmers are stuck waiting in the wings to see whether their record corn and soybean production will have open roads to foreign ports. But one upper Midwestern crop has long found a path to prosperity in a world awash in grain. Here's Josh Bittner with the story.
Wisconsin might be known as America's dairyland, but another commodity rooted in the Badger State since before the nation's existence holds a long history of lucrative returns from Asian export markets.
Ginseng has traditionally been used in both cooking and as a medicine. A lot of Chinese practice and culture believes that food is a medicine. And so the items you consume impact your bodily health. I think as Westerners, we're just starting to discover that based on our diet.
Will Su is a second-generation ginseng producer near Wausau. 95% of the plant's domestic cultivated origin is sprinkled across Wisconsin, according to USDA, and Marathon County is the hub.
Very similar to France and Italy, which are known as the old world regions for growing wine. That taste and flavor of Wisconsin ginseng has been ingrained in people for the last 100 years.
State estimates indicate roughly 1 million raw pounds of ginseng are harvested laboriously across Wisconsin every year, representing an over $50 million industry. And some say retail sales can boost profits exponentially.
Well, I'm the farmer, he's the brain, so work out as a team is very good. Each nut is 1 year old.
Originally from Taiwan, Will's father, Paul Su, founded the core of the family business over 40 years ago when he and his wife discovered unmet demand for the niche product in Asian American communities across the U.S. The Su's enterprise now includes several hundred acres under production with nearly 1,000 employees across the globe.
Chinese real warm, it's hot, yang, and American ginseng in. So there's the two different functions, two species.
Panax Ginseng was discovered in China's Manchuria region thousands of years ago, but the popular panacea eventually fell victim to overharvest. However, in the 1700s, Jesuit missionaries followed the thread from Asia to North America along the 45th parallel to Panax quinquefolius, a cousin plant with similar cure-all claims among some Native American tribes.
You don't always find four prongs.
Then around the dawn of the 20th century, the wild root moved from forest to farm in Wisconsin, cemented trade partnerships, and earned a gold standard reputation.
85% of our market is China. So yeah, it's tied in, it's hardwired.
Bob Kaldunsky heads up the state's Ginseng Board, a quasi-governmental promotion group of active producers funded through shade assessment, a tax on the farm structures that help mimic woods-like conditions for the fickle herb. Despite strong demand, Kaldunsky says the number of ginseng growers in Wisconsin has declined from over 1,000 20 years ago to about 180 today.
There's 5 producers that produce about 75% of the crop. And the balance then, that's about 175, produce the other 25%.
This consolidation could be attributed to discouraging infrastructure expenses, time, and land challenges.
3 to 5 years normally before we harvest, and we don't plant on the same land twice.
Ever.
Because cultivated ginseng only grows in a particular location once, large producers must constantly secure new cropland. But the Sioux say successive owners can reap the benefits of ginseng's one-shot deal.
What most farmers typically find is after we're on the land, it's in a better state than it was before, especially to grow, some of the cash crops that are more typical here in central Wisconsin.
Growers don't expect the reality of finite land to brew into a crisis anytime soon, but sustainability could be as close as the edge of the field.
I've been training the digger for 30 years, at least maybe 35 years. We give them top price, so they only pick mature plant and also dig in certain time and certain size.
By state law, the original wild woods-grown ginseng must be at least 10 years old before being extracted for sale. Properly licensed by the state, anyone can dig into Wisconsin's private lands with permission during the months of September and October. And dealers say wild root commands much more than the average $30 to $55 per pound off the farm.
Depending on what location, how good they are, $500, $600, $700 a pound.
That's because the older the root, the higher the number of ginsenosides, active compounds within the plant that impart its elixir-like prestige. Private landowners like the Sioux recognize the importance of conservation, developing their own method, Wild Simulated, as part of the state's multi-pronged approach to viability.
So this is kind of that in-between space, not quite wild, not quite farm-raised, that you see a lot of agriculture moving into. You can take any patch of woods, if you take care of it and do a good job of it, and turn it into this. And in the wild, some of the best roots are, 15 to 30 years old.
So this is at least 40 years, maybe more than 40. Very, very seldom you have 60-year-old roots, maybe one in 100 to 1,000. But 100 years or older, I only found 2 in 43 years. I have one, and Jack Ma from Alibaba, I gave him one.
Over the years, Paul Sioux has forged connections with politicians and high-profile business people who swear by the economic and health benefits of ginseng.
What it's going to dry down to and how much of it's going to be usable.
And while producers brush off concerns over trade bluster out of Washington, some do offer a word of caution.
History has shown times where trade to China has been shut down. This industry is dead. The demand as income levels rise in Asia is really coming from there. So to help farmers in central Wisconsin, the best thing we can have is access to those export markets.
For Market to Market, I'm Josh Bittner.
The vast majority of ginseng in the U.S. is grown in the eastern half of the nation. It is a popular crop. The root sells for up to $600 a pound.